I wonder how disc golf manufacturers come up with the names for their discs. So I'm very curious as to how each disc golf manufacturer comes up with the name for each disc. Some of them make sense, most of them don't. Most of them are just randomly made. Some have a theme going. Uh, Innova used to have a theme with animals. They had Makos, AVR. I don't know what the hell that was. That was one of the first ones. They kind of broke away from that. You had the rhino. You got the ape. You got the beast. I don't know what kind of animal a boss is, but that's one of them. Corvette. Is that an animal? I don't think so. But they don't really have any theme going on with their discs. They're just randomly named after whatever. So I don't understand it. And then you get to companies like Dynamic, the Warden, the Escape, the Deputy. I think they watch too much CSI and they name all their, they watch an episode of CSI, whatever Ice-T says that day, that's how they name their disc. So, and then you go to the other trilogies, you got West Side Disc. Let's see what they got. I've got a sword and a king. What else we got? You got a fortress, queen. You got the Northman. So I don't know if they're just some bunch of they're just Dungeon and Dragon nerds. Basically, is what it sounds like. They played a little too much, so I guess they stuck with that. That's okay. When you get into Discraft, I've got a Crank and a Nuke OS. And then there's other versions of it. You got the Avenger SS, the Crush. Does anybody even use that? You got the Force, the Pulse, the Punisher. There's not really a theme with theirs either. I don't really understand theirs. They just kind of make it up as they go. And even worse of all the offenders, in my opinion, the worst, two of the worst. Where the hell are they at on here? Discmania. You got the PD2, the FD2, the DD3, the CD3, the CD, the TD, the TDX. And then they all have their nice little fancy names that they have on them, the new stamps that they make on them. Kind of makes it less boring. So they're not as bad. They at least have some creativity. But the worst of all, the most boring of all, is the Prodigy disc. They're just all M4, M5, D2, D1, M4. I just read that. X5. All that. They kind of stick to this, just throw the disc, don't worry about what the name of the stamp is or anything like that. But they're getting some better stamps on their stuff. We got a little hipster Santa one here that was, I don't know where the hell I got it, but I've had it and I just like it. So nobody really has a good theme. You could say Dynamic does, but I don't like their theme. It's pretty boring. But I gotta give a shout out to AGL Disc. I think they have the most common sense marketing with the naming of their disc, and I like how they do it. I'll take this, and here you have this weird looking thing called a baobab. It's named after a baobab tree, which is a very weird looking tree, which makes sense. Weird looking tree, kind of cool looking though, and then a weird looking disc, which is awesome though. So they're named after trees and things like that, so it makes sense. And they're plastic. This is a hemp blend. This is a woodland hemp blend, or hemp blend woodland, whichever you want to call it. So their plastic is even called after it. Woodland, alpine, hemp blend. And here you go. You got a AGL cedar with a little bit of metal flakes in it. Looks nice. Feels nice. Makes sense. We throw in the woods. There are trees in the woods. Or if you're like me, you're hitting them. Magnolia. Alpine magnolia. It's all tree related. It all makes sense. And if there's another magnolia. But it all makes sense. It all makes perfect sense. Most of these I don't really have a clue what their purpose is in naming them. They're just all weird names. I mean, you go even into MVP, they're kind of cool. They're named after like any day now. energy, impulse, limit, inertia, phase. It's all like nerdy scientific shit or something. But they look really cool. They got really cool stamps on them too. So I think AGL is the best, has the best marketing for the naming of their disc, and they let their players choose the name for their disc, which is awesome. I don't know if any other companies do that. If they do, they're not doing a very good job because none of these names make sense. So I decided to show you guys the way I would name discs if I had my own discs, and I just so happen to have them here with me right now. All right, I got a putter, I got a fairway driver, a mid-range, and then a high-speed driver. The putter. This is the drain pipe. We'll get into the specs later, but that's the drain pipe. All right, you get the mid-range here. Okay, this is the Subaru. Okay, Subaru. Then we got fairway driver. This is the rooftop or rooftop. Nice, good disc. And the high-speed driver, nice and grippy. This one's called Leroy Johnson. Okay. Now the whole trend. Hear me out here. So we'll start with the putter, and I'll explain why. Okay, we've all had putts that we've missed and got bad rolls. Okay, so what happens when it rolls? It rolls somewhere. This one rolled into, you guessed it, a drain pipe. Boom, drain pipe. So simple. Why would you not call it that instantly? Just, they named themselves pretty much. Okay, no, we're gonna skip this one. Okay, mid-range, obviously, you guessed it, Subaru. Totally nailed a Subaru WRX one day with it. It's held up pretty good though. That tells you how durable the plastic is, so it makes it easier to name the plastic blend later, after you know that it can hit a Subaru and it's gonna be just fine. It's still stable, nice and stable. Okay. Then we get onto the rooftop. Of course I had to get a ladder to retrieve this, but yeah, nice, and just tells you that it's nice and glidey. It just carries forever. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Rooftop. I wouldn't recommend throwing this anywhere in urban areas though. You're gonna want to stay in the woods with this one. Just FYI. What can I say? I'm cheesy. Get over it. Okay, and the last one, Leroy Johnson. Again, I'm sorry, Leroy. I didn't see you. You got to make some noise when you're walking across a field there. You're blending in. Who wears camo on a disc golf course? I mean, really. It's, I mean, I yelled 4. So, unfortunately, Leroy took the blunt of that. This held up pretty good though, but boy, Leroy, he got opened up that day. So, which goes to tell you, folks, when you're on a disc golf course, you got to keep your head on a swivel. You can't just be walking around there like that, especially in camo. Who wears camo? It's just stupid. So, I've got more, but I'm not going to go through all of them because I don't have all day. But it's basically the way that I've heard that Chinese name their kids. They just throw a pan across the room and then ching hang. That's the name of their kid. I think that's how they do it. That's how I was told when I was a kid. That's a little racist. Just a tad bit racist. Probably not true, also. I don't think that's true. Alright, so that's it. So I'm going to have a little contest. If you can name what all 4 of these discs are, I will give them to you for free. Each one. That's that one. I'm not going to show you what it looks like from the front. There's that one. You can zoom in. There's that one. And there's that one. So, if you can name all 4, they're yours for free. I will mail them to you for free. Just be careful with Leroy Johnson. He's very sharp, dangerous. Rooftop, again, woods only. Subaru, probably woods only. You're gonna want to be on the lookout. Okay, that's all I got. Thanks for wasting your time watching me be stupid. Team AGL, baby.